guys, it's Jude, and today I have a review for you of Incarnate by Jodi Meadows. A review. Incarnate was published in 2013, which is when I read it, and when I read it as an A or C, an E-galley from a NetGalley. So it was on my computer for just like 60 days, and I read it, and I loved it. I remember that I loved it so much, and that was it. I never continued with the sequels or anything because so much time happened before first it hadn't been published, and then until the sequel came out I just didn't pick it up because I didn't remember the story very well. I just remember I had loved it. And until like 2 months ago, I was searching through my favorites shelf on Goodreads and I saw Incarnate and I was like, oh my god, I remember that I loved that book. I loved that book. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. So I went to Amazon and I bought the 3 books and I just read it again. And I am so happy to say that I loved it just as much as I did the first time. I was so worried about not liking it again because that often happens. You like something before and then you read it again and then you're like, why? It's like Ex-Boyfriends and Twilight. But I loved it, I enjoyed it so much, and now with it like fresh in my mind, I'm gonna do a review for it. And I'm reading the second book and I'm loving it, so. Incarnate is the story about a girl named Anna. Now, before getting into who Anna is, you need to know the world. The world, the setting of this, it's like a world. It's this place where everyone's basically immortal, or more like they are reincarnated over and over again, and all their memories stay. So they are born, they do grow, and they die, but they always remember what their past lives were about. So it's basically the same amount of people. I don't remember how many are there in this book. You know what, for the sake of saying a number, let's say there's 1,000 people in this world. 1,000 people, and they are all just being reincarnated, reborn, and they all know what happened in their past lives. So if someone like murders you and then you are reincarnated, you're like a baby, like, oh, you killed me, I know, I remember. So it's a society where basically no one dies. Or their essence, at least, because their bodies are always changing. Sometimes they are born as women, sometimes as men, sometimes with problems, sometimes like, you know, fat, thin, with blue eyes, with this. The soul always stays and it remembers. The book starts when in one mysterious night something happens and someone dies. And a few years later, when they are expecting the soul to be reborn, it just so happens that she doesn't come back. She doesn't come back. They have soul scanners so that they can tell which baby is whom, and when they put the baby's hand on the scanner, it doesn't read anything because there's a new soul in town. Ta-da! Meet Anna. Anna is the new soul in town who basically replaced another soul. So the whole drama about the novel is that Anna is basically raised like on the far edges of the world, completely isolated and treated really poorly because people don't want her because they think they replaced one of them. Well, she did, but they don't accept her, and they don't get where this new soul came from. So the whole novel is about Anna trying to discover herself and leaving home to go into Heart, which is the city where everyone lives. She, as I said, she lived very isolated, so she goes into Heart, which is like the capital of the world, and she's trying to find her place in the world and see what's going on, and she's learning and meeting new people and just being fresh. Fresh! Because everyone's like 4,000 years old. Might be less. I don't remember. So that's the basic plot, and within the novel there's romance, there's action, there's a lot of things, but what made me love it so much, and what I think really sets it apart from other things, is how introspective of a book it is. In the end, the essence of the story, it's what does it mean to have a soul? What is a soul? You have these people that are being reborn and reborn again, and their bodies are not them. It's the essence that lives inside the body. Because there's couples that have been together for ages now, and when one of them dies, like when the other is reborn as a woman, and then both of them are women and they're together, even though it's not, you know, it wouldn't be, it's kind of weird because if you met them as a man, then they come back as a woman, but you gotta realize that it's about the essence, not about the body. There's also the weird case where, you know, like the couple is like really old and then they're born as a baby, so there's age differences. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and it's about that, you know, the essence of the person. What makes a person? Since in our real lives we are born with this one body that we have, I think that we put so much emphasis in how like this is me and that's all there is. But honestly, this is just a shell. Like, this is literally a shell for what moves me on the inside. The energy that flows through me, it's literally like I could be in another body and still be me. It's like my brain. So I find that to be quite fascinating. We are so attached to our bodies in real life, in the real world, but in all honesty, when we die, our bodies stay, but the energy inside of it just goes somewhere else. I don't believe in reincarnation, and I don't really believe like in God or in... I'm not a religious person, so I think that varies a lot. The book is not religious, thankfully. So it's a great question to ask, what makes a person, and like leaving all prejudice aside, because it doesn't matter if someone is in the body of a woman or a man. If someone is fat because their body just happens to be like very there's people that's naturally thin and people that naturally gains weight. So it's about all of those things and really taking people as they are. It made me think about that. It made me think how I am more than just my body, but also the importance of my body, because even though I am not really like my body per se, it's still the way, the way through which I experience life. When I touch things, when I touch something, it's my hands that let me do it, you know? So I'm thankful to this body for letting me do what it does, for running, for seeing. Many people can't see, like, for all of these things, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so thankful for me. You love me. So I just love what this book sort of like did to me. It really made me think of what I am inside of me and how I experience things and how I'm thankful to my body, but I am also not defined by my body. Which is something really messed up that we sort of do in the real world, you know, like the color of your skin. Since when does the color of your skin define whether or not you are treated with respect? The fact that you're a woman or a man, does it define that you will be treated with more respect, that you will be taken more seriously? Or the place that you were born, you do not have control over those kinds of things. And in the real world, we put so much pressure into it, and we're just real assholes to one another more times than not. And I just really enjoyed it again. I love the romance in this book. It's so great. And I love Anna as a character. She is so frustrated with how everyone treats her like a child because she is so young. She is so new, and I love the way that she experiences life, because she's conscious of the fact that there's a big chance that she will not be reincarnated, and that she needs to appreciate her life to the fullest, because, you know, she might not come back. So it also leaves you thinking about that, you know, that you won't come back. I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it to any one of you, be it a guy or a girl, because I know the cover looks like it's for girls, but femininity does not mean it's a bad book. It's a great book. It's a great book. And I just hope that if any of you reads it, you really do like keep in mind like all of these things I'm mentioning, and that you're able to appreciate that within the book, because it's so great the way that Jodi Meadows very in a very subtle way, it's like, what does your soul mean? What is a soul? Who are you? What are you? 5 out of 5 stars. I think I already said that, but I will link it down on Goodreads and on the Book Depository. Yes! Thank you so much for watching. Highly recommend it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!